I must warn the faint of heart that this series will be graphic. Viewers' discretion is advised. Now it happened in those days when there was no king in Israel, that a certain Levite was living as an alien in the most remote part of the hill country of Ephraim, who took a young mistress from Bethlehem in Judah. But his mistress was unfaithful to him and left him and went to her father's house in Bethlehem of Judah and stayed there for a period of 4 months. Judges 19, verses 1 and 2. Then her husband arose and went after her to speak kindly and tenderly to her in order to bring her back, taking with him his servant and a pair of donkeys. So the young woman brought him into her father's house, and when the father saw him, he gladly welcomed him. Then his father-in-law persuaded him to stay. So he remained with him 3 days, eating, drinking, and lodging there. On the 4th day they got early in the morning to depart, but the young woman's father said to his son-in-law,
"Refresh your heart with a morsel of bread, and then you can go."
So they sat down, and the two of them ate and drank together. Now the young woman's father persuaded him to stay up to the 5th day. On the 5th day, when the man got up to depart with his young mistress and his servant, his father-in-law echoed,
"Behold, the day is coming to a close. Just spend the night here. See, the day is almost over. Spend another night here and celebrate. Enjoy yourself. Then you can get up early in the morning for your journey home."
But the man was not willing to stay the night. So he got up and left, and came to a place opposite Jebus, that is Jerusalem, with his 2 saddle donkeys and his young mistress. When they were about to enter Jebus, his servant said to him,
"Master, please come and let us turn aside in this Gibeathite city and spend the night there."
The Levite answered,
"We will not turn aside into a city of foreigners who are not of the descendants of Israel. We will go on to Gibeah. Come, let us try to reach one of these towns, Gibeah or Ramah, so we can spend the night there."
So they continued on their journey, and the sun set as they were near Gibeah in the Benjamites' territory. And the Levite went in and sat down in the open square of the city, because no man invited them into his house to spend the night. That evening, an elderly man who lives in Gibeah of the Benjamites from Mount Ephraim came in from his work in the field, and seeing the travelers he asked,
"Where are you going, and where are you from?"
The Levite replied,
"We are passing through from Bethlehem in the territory of Judah to the most remote part of the hill country of Ephraim, where I am from. I went to Bethlehem, Judah, and now I'm returning to the house of the Lord. However, no one invited me into their home, even though we lacked nothing. We have both straw and feed for the donkeys and bread and wine for me, the young mistress, and the young man with me."
The elderly man answered,
"Don't worry, I will supply anything you need. Just don't spend the night out in the open square."
So he brought him to his house. And fed his donkeys. And they washed their feet and ate and drank. While they were enjoying themselves, behold, men of the city, certain lewd and evil men, surrounded the house and pounding on the door, saying to the elderly man, "Bring out the man who came to your house, so we may have intimate relations with him." Then the man, the master of the house, went out and said to them,
"No, my fellow citizens, please do not act so wickedly. After all, this man has come to my house as my guest. Do not commit such an outrageous act. Here is my virgin daughter and this man's young mistress. I will bring them out now. Abuse and humiliate them and do to them whatever you want. But do not commit this act of lewdness against this man."
But the men would not listen to him. So the Levite took his young mistress and brought her outside to them. And they had relations with her and abused her all night until morning. And when daybreak came, they let her go. At daybreak, the young woman came and collapsed at the door of the man's house where her master was until it was daylight. When her master got up in the morning and opened the doors of the house and went out to go on his way, he saw his young mistress lying at the door of the house, and her hands were on the threshold. The Levite spoke to the woman,
Get up and let us go.
but there was no response from the young mistress. Then he put her body on the donkey, and the man left and went home. When he arrived at his house, he took a knife, and taking hold of the dead woman, he cut her corpse limb by limb into 12 pieces, and sent her body parts throughout all the territory of Israel. All who saw the dismembered parts said, "Nothing like this has ever happened or been seen from the day that the sons of Israel came up from the land of Egypt to this day." Think about, take counsel, and speak your minds. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to see what happens next in this series.